Tribal politics continue to divide Kenyans. Online scams on the rise as cybercrime grows. Drought and hunger hurt thousands in northern Kenya. Human rights groups demand actions against police brutality.
Good evening and welcome to True Pulse. I'm David Kibet. Tonight, we look at how Kenya is coping with division, digital crime, drought, and justice. Stay tuned for more stories that matter. Kenya's politics still seems split along tribal and class lines. Here is our reporter with more.
Across Kenya, many voters still follow tribal loyalties when choosing leaders.
Dear Kenyans, ladies and gentlemen, attention here. Today, there is something that I would like to address. First of all, I am a member of Kalenjin community, and like any other youth, I'm fond of watching what people say in social media, reading comments, so on and so forth, across all social media platforms, be it Facebook, X, TikTok, WhatsApp, all platforms. Now, there is a worrying trend. There is a clique of people who are working very hard to profile our community and push us to a corner because of the actions of some few individuals who may be coming from our community. Yet today, when you come to Kalenjin land, you will find there are people who are condemning abductions, there are people who are condemning police brutality, there are people who are condemning corruption, there are people who are pushing for good governance, there are people who are pushing for development, and so many other things. Now, when these people look back and see what Kenyans are commenting about them, their level of insults, the amount of hate that is being directed towards us, it's quite appalling. And those people can sit down and say, oh, so all these Gen Z uprising, all these demonstrations, so they were not about clamor for good governance. So they were not about, quest for democracy. They were not all about ending police brutality. They were not all about justice. They were about this community can lead, this community cannot lead. Dear Kenyans, do not push us to that corner, because it will only solidify our resolve to support the president and our own. Because it will reach a point we're saying, so if we don't love ourselves, nobody loves us. Now, that one aside, if we really want to achieve a meaningful national agenda of moving Kenya forward, we must stop these tribal attachments, we must stop this ethnic mobilization, this ethnic balkanization, this ethnic profiling, because we are not going to achieve the Kenya that we want.
Groups say peace will only come through education and fair leadership. Reporting for True Pulse, I am Elsie Njenga.
Our reporter now joins us live. From what you saw, how are people reacting to the division?
David, many people said they're tired of leaders using tribe to win support. The youth especially want a more united country that focuses on fairness.
Did anyone share any ideas on what can help reduce the tension?
Yes, people talked about fair sharing of resources, better leadership, and more civic education. They want leaders who bring people together.
Thank you for your update. Thank you for joining us. We have with us a political expert. We appreciate your time. I'll start with a few questions so we can learn from your experience.
Thank you.
So, on to my first questions. Why do Kenyans still pick leaders by tribes?
That's a very interesting question. We are people who are defined by community. Unfortunately, the majority of the voters live in their own ethnic areas. I'll give you an example. If you go to Kiambu, you'll find Kikunis. If you go to Kisumu, you'll find Kikunis. If you go to Nandi, you'll find Kalenjians. So by virtue of coming from the same place, people still favor or prefer to vote for a candidate that comes from their own community because they trust them. It's this thing what we call mtu wetu personality. Yes.
Okay. How can we change that? What you just mentioned.
It is very difficult to change the mentality of the Kenyan voters. However, we've seen the advent of social media, wherein a lot of massive campaign is being transformed or communicated in vernacular. Let's embrace the use of social media and disseminate information. Policies. Let's talk about policies. We move from tribal-based politics to issue-based politics. And we get a team of volunteers to go directly and sort it out to the specific areas.
Okay, that was all my questions. So thank you for your time. Cybercrime has become a big threat in Kenya. Here is our reporter with more.
Kenyans are losing millions to fake texts, links, and job scams. Many victims say they never saw it coming.
Cybercrime has become a big threat in Kenya. Here is our reporter with more.
Experts warn users to confirm before checking any unknown link. Reporting for True Pulse, I am Jonathan Guki.
Thank you for your time and insight. We appreciate you speaking with us. We are glad to have with us an expert today. He has a deep experience in this field, and their insight will help us understand this topic better. Thank you for being here. Let me begin with the first question. Why are online scams spreading so fast?
I'm Jathniel Ohako, founder and CEO of Teamwise Tech Solutions. We help business automate and scale their operations through business automation software. I'm also a safe internet advocate, and thank you for having me.
Why is fake news such a big problem now in Kenya and globally, especially in TikTok?
A good question. I think I would rank fake news as the second biggest cancer after corruption in Kenya and Africa as a whole. People, I would say, in power or in high seats tend to use fake news to seamlessly manipulate the lower echelon of the masses. We've had incidences. I think there was a prominent company in Europe that not once or twice has it been reported that it interfered with elections in the US. At some point it was reported it also interfered with elections here in Kenya and several countries in Africa, simply based on information they gathered and propagated online for the masses to see. And in other regions we saw that as a result of this, mass chaos erupted. To also answer your question, why is it so much propagated through TikTok? So TikTok is very much well known for propagating video content. And now with the advent of AI tools that can actually create deepfakes and seemingly realistic videos, these videos can be used to trigger or erupt emotions in the masses. So yes, fake news, you can say it is quite a big problem, and yes, it is highly propagated through TikTok.
How do we fight it or reduce the amount of misinformation being spread?
Amazing. I think one of the ways is implementing policies somewhere in the course of this year, His Excellency, our President William Ruto, signed into law, I believe, laws curbing propagation of fake news and also misinformation online, something related to that. So the number one step would recommend to curb the propagation of fake news. Number one is implementing policies and holding those spreading this fake information accountable. So once you have these policies passed into laws, having the bills passed into laws, I think it will put everyone in the radar, especially those culprits that are used to spreading false information about different individuals or institutions just to stir up unwarranted emotions in the masses. So I will really recommend policies and laws and holding those spreading this information accountable.
Okay, thank you for your time. In northern Kenya, hunger, drought continues to worsen. Our reporter has more to this.
Experts say long-term planning is key to ending this crisis. Reporting for True Pulse, I am by Minor.
Fake news and air.
Families are surviving on 1 meal a day. Many are forced to walk for hours to find water.
Human rights abuses and police brutality remain a major issue. Here is our reporter with more.
Families of victims continue to demand justice as cases drag in courts.
White groups are calling for police reforms and fair trials. Reporting for True Pulse, I am Minute Commander.
Families of victims continue to demand justice as cases drag in courts.
That's it for now on True Pulse. We've covered division, digital safety, hunger, human rights. Join us in a few minutes. I'm David Kibet.